Do buyers really need a real estate agent? I mean, what is all this lawsuit about? Why on earth, why can't we just do it ourselves? I mean, we can save all that money. Well, I have a few compelling reasons that may make you want to keep your buyer's agent for all the future. And we're going to start with number one, education. There is quite a low barrier to entry to be a realtor, but to be a good agent and to be a real estate broker, it takes a lot of hours, and it takes experience, and it takes time. To be someone's fiduciary and have their fiduciary responsibility is an enormous weight, because you have to keep that person out of trouble and get them the best deal that you possibly can. Now, what does that look like? Well, for me, for example, I have over 560 hours of education. Now, it only takes 180 hours to be a realtor, but those of us that really try to go above and beyond to make sure that our clients are taken care of the best possible, we continually search for the next best thing, how to keep our clients safe, how to keep them out of trouble, what we can do to get ahead of the curve, what we can do to learn faster than another agent to get our clients the best deal possible. Next, a buyer's agent is along the ride with you the entire way for advice and consultation. I mean, people have questions from something as simple as, can I move the fence over here? Or something as complex as, what's the zoning and can I change it from a single family to a duplex? Or how can I change this duplex into a condo regime? We have to know it all, or we have to find out how to know it all. So we need to know everybody, every link in the chain to get the right advice, to make sure someone gets the right information so that they don't get into something that will get them in trouble in the long run. Speaking of giving advice, we also need to know everything there is to know about the property, the due diligence phase. What is the zoning? What are the regulations from the covenants and restrictions of the neighborhood? What are the rules for the trees if you just want to expand your back deck? How far can you go? How much room can you use? How much impervious cover can you have? Austin has layer upon layer upon layer of rules, and you don't want to buy a property going in thinking, oh, I'm just going to add on to it later, or I'll build an accessory unit in the back, only to find out 6-8 months down the road it's not even allowed. And don't even get me started on condominiums. You've got to know the deed restrictions and the HOA rules on that. And oh, are there any assessments coming up in the future that you should know about? Are there any kind of hidden fees, hidden structures that you should know about that maybe the listing agent doesn't tell you? Do you think that maybe if you're just a person off the street trying to find a house on your own or a condo on your own, that agent's going to give you that kind of information if you don't ask, if you don't know what to ask for? Next is strategy and offer preparation. No two deals are alike, but especially in today's age where we're kind of swinging the pendulum from one side to the other, when we had so few properties for sale and so many buyers trying to get a property, it was imperative that the contract was written impeccably, that you contacted the listing agent, that you created rapport, that you made sure that they remembered you and your client, more specifically, that they were the best possible person for that house. Now the tables have turned. There's more properties out there. Buyers have a bigger opportunity to buy. Now we're going to ask for concessions. We're going to ask for more repairs, more things, because the table has turned. If you don't know how to make those offers, how much you can come under list price without offending the other client or the other seller and letting them walk away, or they will walk away because you don't come up high enough. There are so many layers to making the perfect strategy to get an offer accepted at the best price. And it doesn't come with just doing this once in a while. You've got to do this over and over, get the practice, get the experience, know who to know who to ask for those questions about, the foundation's a little wonky. Should we buy it anyway? The roof kind of, it has this wavy pattern. Is that okay? Can we pay for it down the road, or will that cost us $1 jillion down the road? There's a lot that goes into the packaging of the offer to create that best possible turnout for the buyer. The next phase, we got the offer accepted, but now we have to go through that dreaded inspection. The pages are coming back 60 pages long. It's like, throw the house away. We don't even want it. Well, we've got to go through there and see what's actually, deal breakers, big money items, or we can live with it. And if you don't do this every day, you don't know if, a fogged window is a deal breaker. What if there's a crack in the foundation like that? Well, maybe everybody knows that's a deal breaker, but you get the idea. There are some things that need to be renegotiated. You've got to basically start over with the negotiations during that option period for the repairs. Oh, you didn't know there was an option period? Yeah, there's an option period. You've got to pay the seller to have an option period. These are the parts of the contracts that you need someone protecting you on timelines, how much money to spend, when is it due? Is it due at 5 p.m. or is it due at midnight? What if it's due on Sunday? Do I have to put it in on Friday or can I go to Monday? These are very, very important items that can get you in hot water if you don't have someone looking out for you. The next bump in the road after we get past the repair renegotiation and past the option period, that old appraisal is going to come in. Now, hopefully it'll come in and you just go smooth sailing right into closing from there. But what if the appraisal comes in short? What do? Well, were you protected on the front end? Well, I don't know, Nicole. What does it mean to be protected on the front end? Great question. So if you're putting more than your minimum down, so like minimum say is 5%, and you put 20% down, the appraisal comes in short, and you don't put the appraisal addendum in there, you might be at risk because the lender's still going to give you the loan. They're just going to tell you to put more money down. So maybe you put 10% down and you finance a little bit more. So there are so many intricacies of that appraisal that just because it doesn't appraise doesn't mean you get out of buying the property. So make sure you know the back end of the appraisal and make sure you're covered so that if it doesn't appraise, you can do the right thing for you. Then there's title and escrow. Now the title agents are great help and they normally handle everything in their section, and that section means running the history of the property and making sure that everyone that owned it free and clear, had clear title so that they could sell it to the next person and forward and forward and forward. But sometimes a glitch comes up. We need to step in and ask, further questions. Is this going to be okay? So that nothing happens at the 11th hour. That's what we are trying to prevent. We don't want everyone to be ready to move, everyone to be ready to close the deal. Moving trucks are outside and then something goes, whoop, sorry, we missed this earlier, but now we found it. Now you can't close. Sorry, you're going to have to find another house later. Who can stand that? Then after that, after title and escrow gets all, routed down the runway to closing, we do that final walkthrough. All you're hoping is that all the furniture is out, everything's been cleaned, there's no water on the floor, there's no fire, everything is smooth. But what if you walk in and nothing's gone? All the furniture's still there, the dogs are in the garage, what do? How do you handle that? You need a pro on your side. And what happens after closing when the HVAC system goes out, or you were promised one thing from the seller and it's not there, or you were promised that it wasn't going to be there and it is there? You need someone in your corner to be able to chase down all of these items and help you get through the rest of the process. A good buyer's agent, let's just say it, I am never going to leave your side. From now until the end of time, I am going to be your fiduciary on whatever transaction that happened together. Hopefully we've become friends by the end of it as well. But things can go wrong. Attorneys get involved. You need help. You need to know who to call. The taxes are too high, more than you expected. Who do you call? How do you fix it? I'm always here for you. Now, granted, the lawsuit is about commission levels. It's not really about someone having a buyer's agent versus not having a buyer's agent. The lawsuits are about how much we should be paid and that there was collusion, that we should all be paid a certain amount. So I think this lawsuit is going to shake out some of the lesser agents, and that's totally fine. We have too many realtors anyway. We need more realtors at the top and less realtors at the bottom of, I'm talking about education and experience. Sure, everyone's going to start new at some point, but they maybe need to have a mentor. But the service level needs to be lifted. The whole rising tide needs to be lifted. So I hope these lawsuits bring a better awareness that commissions are negotiable and the best realtors should get paid the most for their better service and their better fiduciary responsibility. I, for one, will be happy to see these lawsuits come to an end because it's costing taxpayers, National Association of Realtors, Texas Association of Realtors, Austin Board of Realtors, an enormous amount of money to hire attorneys to fight it. But if it's the right thing for the better good, the greater good, keep the good agents in and work towards giving our clients the best possible experience. I'm Nicole Cooper. I'm a buyer's agent. I'm a listing agent. I'm a real estate broker, and I can't wait to help you make your next move. Until then, I can't wait to see you around town.